talked about the conventional drugs available and raised the question of what would be the role of the biologics. Hopefully, Dr. Chandrasekhar will be answering that question. His topic is, will biologicals take over, in the management of rheumatoid? Dr. Chandrasekhar, as you know, has been has established and been the professor of clinical immunology and rheumatology at MS Ramaiah. He started his career with an MD at Karnataka Medical College, obtained his DM at SGPGI Chandigarh in clinical immunology. He's had a very illustrious career. He's been on been on multiple boards as an advisory member for multiple journals. He has published numerous articles in various papers and organized multiple CMEs. He's presently the consultant rheumatologist at Chandray Rheumatology. Dr. Chandrasekhar.
Good morning. I think my job is made a little easy with the previous speakers. This particular slide has been already discussed with you, that how exactly the rheumatoid arthritis treatment has evolved over a period of time. Now we are in the era of getting more newer and newer medical treatment, newer and newer line of treatment for rheumatoid arthritis. What we are trying to look is, can we go for a cure? Can we find a long-term solution? Can we find a solution which will be long-lasting, precise, and are accompanied with less amount of adverse reaction and side effects? So the problem has been put across by the previous speakers. With reference to the conventional disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs, we have variety of expected adverse reactions. It could be hematological. If you look into methotrexate, the first thing what we are worried is, does the patient goes for a bone marrow toxicity? When we put azathioprine, worry is that do the patient go for a bone marrow toxicity? Similarly, when we put leflunomide, we are worried about the hepatic toxicity, so also with methotrexate. So with each of these, we have one or other expected problems, or do we land up with one of these adverse reactions over the period of time? And that's one of the reasons quite a few of these drugs are not continued beyond 4 years or 5 years, with a dropout rate almost coming close to 60 to 70%. 60 to 70% of the patients discontinue these drugs for a variety of these problems. So another additional problem that what we have with reference to these is the damage still continues. The reduction in amount of erosions, the reduction in the expected deformities is not as much as we were expecting out of these treatment. Of course, it has significantly changed from what used to happen with monotherapy to combination therapy, but still the erosion and the damages to the joint continues to be one of the problems that's faced with reference to rheumatoid arthritis. Even the patient who is religiously on a treatment with disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drug still may land up down the lane in 10th year with few or other deformities or a substantial disability in the working. So that being the case, can we seriously prevent the damages if we intervene early, or if we do something best out at this point? And in addition, can we seriously reduce the risk of morbidity and mortality associated with this conventional approach? With this idea in mind, with this concept in mind, the new concept of biologics came into shape. It was first worked out with reference to tumor necrotizing factor alpha, and over a period of time we came out with lot more drugs, what we term it as biologics. But the confusion of biologics start with this slide. I mean, of course, this is absolutely a non-readable slide, overcrowded. I have just picked it out of one of the article which was written in Journal of Dermatology discussing about what is biologics and should we call this as biologics. The basic reason is this list carries the definition that has been given by various authors, various agencies, how to define a biologics. What is the exact term, words we should use when we try to define biologics? You can see there are definitions ranging into paragraphs, there are definitions which are in 2-3 sentences. But most accepted, most of us try to understand that the biologics are a protein-based molecules which otherwise exists in nature or has been manufactured or modified with minimal modifications, or which blocks a predefined action in biologic process, either in immune system or in nerve growth or any other areas. So we use a term biologics to these group of substances which otherwise interferes in a predefined way in a biologic process in mimicking one of the existing biologic molecule or a little modified biologic molecules. These are usually genetically engineered targeted molecules similar or identical to naturally occurring molecules. See, this is what just generally happens. See, as we have understood over a period of time, as we try to understand what really happens in a joint, inside over the immune system, what are the changes that do occur, we have realized that lot of protein molecules, lot of receptors which come over the surfaces do play in lot of interactions between the macrophages, Th1, Th2 cells, B cells, osteoclasts and synoviocytes and fibroblasts interact each other through varieties of molecules like TNF, IL-6, IL-15, rankles, IL-22 and IL-17, various cytokines, they interfere, they interact. And theoretically, if you look at, if you can block the interlude TNF alpha in this cascade, probably you can block the cascade downwards. If you can block the activity of IL-17 here, you can block the activity of IL-17 on osteoclasts, macrophages and fibroblasts, thereby you can effectively bring down or alter the immunological process that is happening. So in a sense, the biggest advantage that what we look at is a precise and target specific design molecules in principle to tackle the targets. Just to look at, this is the bomber droppers that were used in World War II by Americans, where the dropping of bomb was not precise. This was an aeroplane which was evolved in between, wherein it was a shooter, but the shooting was not adequate. This is what was used in Iraq, wherein they could precisely pinpoint through a laser and precisely bomb the targets. But what could happen is, it is a nice one if the target was what we wanted. If it is not the nice one, the target what we think is the target, but not the target where it exists. This is what really happened. Each time they were shooting an area inside the Baghdad city to find out and thinking that Saddam stays there, but unfortunately it was only the civilian casualty which happened. This is one of the problems which most of the biologics are facing. We think the TNF is the target and the TNF is the predominant molecule which is working, but when we really go into and we see to look into the possible mechanism, we realize what we thought it could be just an anti-TNF action, it has much more multimodal actions. If you look at the anti-TNF which is well established, we do find that it do interfere in cell recruitment, it do interfere in angiogenesis, it do interfere in various other areas of processes that could happen which is not otherwise directly dependent on tumor necrotizing factor alpha itself. So in a nutshell, what we think could be precise may not be precise when it comes to biologics. This is one of the major issue or a concern that what is happening with reference to biologics therapies. But yet, there are a lot of advantages that we are seeing. These drugs have certainly improved the overall improvement in the disease parameters much more better than the conventional disease modifying anti-rheumatic drugs. It's all the more beneficial in the patients where the conventional disease modifying anti-rheumatic drugs have failed, where patient is not adequately responding to a combination of methotrexate, leflunomide, hydroxychloroquine, or you have used 4 more drugs and still patient is not doing well. If you really use it, most of the time we may find a good response in a good proportion of these patients. In addition, it's been well documented that anti-TNF drugs do show a significant change in the healing process. It do show a significant changes over a period of time. If you look at the baseline erosions with saline and with infliximab, one can see certainly the erosions do heal. In a sense, they do have a significant advantage over the conventional biologics, but we do have certain problems with reference to these group of drugs. The most critical issue that what is our worry is the safety considerations. Though we thought to begin with, since it is target specific, amount of immunosuppression that is expected will be much more lesser than what is supposed to happen, because theoretically it looks and it sounds nice that in the joint, in the site of inflammation, TNF is in excess. Use anti-TNF mopping antibodies or use anti-TNF receptor which can mop up the TNF molecules, and you are able to move out the TNF out of the site, thereby you will get a good response. Sounds good. But what really happened was, with that, when the clinical trial went on and the experience moved on, we started realizing the serious tubercular infection was one of the major concern and issue. And over a period of time, with more and more biologics being used, we started realizing more patients are exposed to opportunistic infection. In a sense, immune suppression or immune modulation was not as precise as we thought theoretically. So the increased opportunistic infection was one of the major concerns when it came towards the biologics. Malignancies, lymphomas, demyelinating disorders, and few of the hematological abnormality still continues to be a problem with reference to these biologics. Few of the administrative reactions, very rarely hepatic abnormality, and most important is the development of antibodies against the drugs as well as the drug-induced lupus are the other problems that what we are facing with reference to biologics. There are few contraindications like where patient has hepatitis B, patient has multiple sclerosis, active serious infections, and chronic recurrent infections, who has neoplasia, who has a possible tuberculosis or congestive heart failure, biologics can't be really used. In a sense, there are limitations which are being faced with reference to these biologics. The number of drugs have been added. The list is still incomplete. I think already 2 more biologics are added into this list. The drug like etanercept, it targets a TNF. Infliximab, it's an antibody directed against TNF. Humira, totally humanized antibody directed against TNF. They have various half-lives and their administering pattern varies, but the end effect, most of these gives a good result in the long term. They do reduce erosions, they do reduce the morbidity and mortality much more significantly than the conventional disease modifying antirheumatic drugs. So basically 2 problems are the patients are little more prone for developing tuberculosis. The worst of the problem is the cost factor. The cost factor is one of the significant limiting factor in using these drugs. This is a different target and interleukin-1. Somehow we didn't take off much because we did find more adverse reaction and side effect with reference to this than what was expected. Abatacept, which is an IV preparation, once a month usage, totally humanized antibody against the interacting T cell activator. This has been used successfully both in lupus as well as in rheumatoid arthritis, and also in few of the vasculitis it's been tried, but certainly it gives a good result especially in the refractory diseases, but these are also limited by the increased infections. Anti-B cell therapy rituximab, chimeric molecules, twice, once in 6 to 12 months, an IV use, used, treated in both rheumatoid, systemic lupus erythematosus, and quite a good number of vasculitis. Certainly, this drug have given some hope to the group of patients in whom the conventional disease-modifying antirheumatic drugs have failed, where we have ourselves thought that we are in the corner of the wall, not able to do much more, definitely has helped. But the big question remains is, instead of waiting till you go to the corner, why can't it be given earlier? Is there a big advantage if we give it earlier? The issue still remains open, and the next question that remains is which one of them to be preferred first? Which is the best of the lot that you have? Because not like a conventional drug, I start methotrexate, not beneficial, I'll change over to leflunomide, not beneficial, I'll change over to that. Because each jump costs him a lakhs of rupees. It's not like a methotrexate where first 6 months it's around 350 per month, then he goes into the 2,000, 3,000 rupees per month. Each jump from one preparation to another preparation costs in terms of lakhs. And second thing we don't know is, suppose you block anti-TNF, then followed by a B-cell block, what is the implication with reference to immunological reaction? You block TNF totally, don't give a breather in between, go to a B-cell block, what really going to happen are the questions which need to be addressed. So there are several questions which are surrounding these biologics. But definitely there are many advantages what we are going to use and what we should be able to use. So in a sense, these are the drugs, these are the potential drugs. These drugs need to be carefully used, basically for two reasons. One is we need to understand much more about it. It's too early to say that they are going to replace. There is a possibility they may replace. So the reason why I have put Bush photograph on the side is that the previous slides were the Iraq war. But what really happened was it is almost called as an epic failure in the end of the day. This is actually what says an epic failure. But we shouldn't land in such a miserable scenario with reference to the patients. So we need to precisely try to understand what for these biologics are, what is the precise way of using and when to use it. If these rational decisions are taken, we can over a period of time get a better group of drugs which in long run will help this group of patients. Thank you for patience here.
Thanks, Dr. Chandrasekhar. The next talk will be on another group of medications that we use in rheumatology, the corticosteroids.
As you know,